Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the first week of September. We are going to be budgeting for our September YNAB budget. We have 2 paychecks that we received just this Friday. What we're going to do is we're going to enter those paychecks, show you how to do that, and then from there we're going to show you how to allocate those funds into the budget. Stick around, let's get a cup of coffee, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, now we got our coffee here. Okay guys, welcome. So my name's Pete once again, and what we're going to be looking at is our September budget, and we're going to be allocating our first paychecks for this month. Me and my wife both have 2 paychecks that we'll be allocating, and we're going to show you exactly how to put those into the YNAB, and then we're going to also show you how to allocate those funds going into the month, how to allocate them before our next paycheck. So now let's dive into our YNAB app. Here we are. And what you will see here is that this is our September budget, and what we're going to be doing is now allocating our paychecks. So we're going to start here by putting in our add transaction. We're going to turn it over into green on that upper left corner. We're going to put in our first paycheck of $1169.80. We're going to enter that into to be budgeted, and we're going to have that set as our primary account. Here you can change the date. Since we were paid yesterday on the 4th, we're going to allocate it there, and we're going to hit save, and now you'll see that we have some money in our to be budgeted up here on top. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to enter my paycheck, and that is $1337.18. That's a little bit too much. Hold on. $1337.18, and we're going to turn that over to green. Now here you will select your payee. Just for privacy reasons, I'm going to leave that blank for right now, but we are going to make sure that's going into primary again, and we're going to put it into to be budgeted. And I will also change the date back to there. And one thing that I do on my paycheck is that I take 5% of my paycheck and I move it over here into our savings account. And that amount is $70.38, and we'll move that over to green, and also our to be budgeted area, and also gotta change the date. Okay, so now we have all of our dollars there to be budgeted. We're going to start allocating these dollars, looking at our calendar and knowing what bills we're going to be looking at having before our next paycheck. So we're going to start by allocating those first. So now let's go back into our YNAB budget, and we're going to start here on our fixed expenses. Now these expenses are pretty much the same every single month, and we know that we're going to be having them every month. So our first one is our phone bill, and that's due on the 9th of the month. We're going to go ahead and allocate that. Next in the fixed expenses is our renter's insurance, and that is $23.17, and that's due on the 12th. And our internet bill, which is due on the 15th, is $53.27 this month, and we will allocate there. Now car insurance is due on the 19th, and we do have a paycheck between there, so I'm going to leave that blank for right now. If we're able to fund it at the end of this, we'll go ahead and fund it. But our next one is our master's program that my wife is now completing. We are going to be paying that on the 12th of this month, so I need to make sure I have the funds available for it, and that's a big one. So I'm going to move that up, and I'm going to hit goal target of $925, and you'll see it there. Next with our Discover student loan, that is due here on the 7th. and I'll go ahead and allocate those funds now. Next, once the auto loan is due the 19th, first mark's due the 19th, conserve that is due the 23rd. Our Kohl's card is coming out on the 9th of the month, and we will go ahead and allocate $74 to that. That is the current minimum payment. We'll start looking at our snowball and where we're going to start allocating our money for our snowball to reduce our debt here once we have all of our entire budget fixated for the month. Next, we have 2 weeks of groceries. This is where we get into our variable expenses, which do change every single month, but we do try and stay on target with what we are budgeting. Now we're looking to budget $125 per week, and we have 2 weeks to budget. And a cool thing with YNAB is that you can hit this plus symbol and you can hit plus, and it will automatically put the 125 in, even if so no math is needed to do any of this, which makes it really easy. Next, we have our baby's needs. We like to get this up to about $300 each month, so I'm going to put $150 into this, allocating that for this portion of the month. Now you'll see that the pill on the right side there went to $268. So if I can fund that by another $40 or so, I'll do so. Next is dining out, and we're going to put that at $100, and that will fully fund that. And then our gas will also fund that fully at $40. So now we do actually have a couple categories that are fully funded for the month. Next, you always have a little bit of fund money, and we're going to put $25 into that right now. Before we allocate the next amount of funds, and if you're enjoying this video, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. And coming up in the last part of this video, we're going to be showing you 3 personal finance tips to stretch out those dollars so you can lose that paycheck to paycheck cycle. Now we're going to get back into allocating the rest of those funds, and we're going to show you exactly, and we're going to define what true expenses are, and we're going to put them into our budget for this month. So now before we go back into our YNAB budget, what we're going to show you exactly what true expenses are, and we're going to define that for us. Now, rule 2 with YNAB, and they have 4 different rules, and we'll go into that into another video, is true expenses. These are the larger, less frequent expenses that you do have over a calendar year. Some of those expenses are kind of like your holiday expenses. Christmas is on the same day every year. If you start budgeting your money starting in January, you start budgeting a smaller amount of money in January, you keep that same amount of savings going throughout the rest of the year, you'll have a pot of money to go ahead and spend on your holiday expenses instead of having to budget quickly in December and coming up with a whole bunch of money at the end of December for all of your gifts. And this basically will just break them down into a manageable monthly bill that you know you're going to be spending at the end of the year. So now that we kind of dove into a little bit of what true expenses are, let's look at let's go into our YNAB budget here, and we'll go down to our true expenses, and you'll see that we still have about $1,000 that we're going to start allocating here. Now, a lot of this is broken up into, you'll see medical, pet, software subscriptions, clothing, personal care, house supplies, auto repair, teaching supplies for my wife, car registration comes along every single year, memberships like Costco, Sam's, BJ's, you can put those in there. Those do come along every single year also. So let's start allocating this money, and this way you can kind of save up to a little pot. Now, medical savings is nearly a monthly expense of its own, especially when you have a 1-year-old. So we're going to allocate our $50 in here, and that is half of the amount of our monthly goal that we have each month. So $50 for pet. Our goal target is $100, so we're going to allocate $50 of that. And then we have our software subscriptions, and last month we spent $92.69, So we're going to go ahead and budget $50 on that. We have $40 that will be going into clothing, and we're going to fully fund that for the month. Personal care, now with personal care, we like to budget $60 every single month, and you'll see on the right side that we already have $13 in it. So what we can do is we can just hit our underfunded budget right here, and we can go ahead and hit that, and you'll see that that will now budget the $60 that we need this month to move forward. Next is our house supplies, and we're going to now budget $25 towards that. Auto repair and replace, we're going to budget the $20. And for Nicole's teaching supplies, this has now gone up. So we're going to allocate $40 into there for. Now with our car registration, what we just recently actually just paid this, that's why you'll see we got 0 and 0. So what we're going to do is next August we're going to have our registration come along again. So we're going to go into our goal, we're going to hit edit goal, and our target date is going to be August 2001, and the amount that we need is $200 by then, and we're going to target the savings towards the balance. So now we hit OK, and now I know when I click this, it's going to tell me how much I need. This is how I'll know I'll get my $200 before the following month. And there we have it. There we have our true expenses that are now allocated. Next, we'll go down to some more true expenses. These are more I put into like a savings category for the whole year, but they're also true expenses also. Nicole's birthday is going to be coming up here in October. So we have 2 months, so I'm going to fund this $25 this week, and next paycheck, I'll fund that another $25. We do have some additional upcoming birthdays coming in the family, so we'll put $25 in there also. And each month we are allocating $50 going towards Christmas, and we're going to allocate $25 this paycheck towards it. And we also have some wedding presents and baby shower gifts we're going to be having to give by the end of the year, and we're going to allocate $50 towards that. Other holidays, what this usually includes is holidays like Halloween and Thanksgiving. Holidays you don't typically budget for, but you do end up spending money on those holidays. So we're putting $20 per month into that, just so we have some funds going into that. New car, travel, and vacation. Braden's birthday is already come and gone, but we're going to be starting a new goal of that this month. So we're going to go into our goals, create goals. We're going to start a monthly savings builder, and we're going to put $25 into it, and that will go ahead and start saving up for his birthday, and we will put $12.50 into that for this month, and with the next one we'll go ahead and do the rest. Next, you'll see our emergency down here on the bottom. We're fully funded at $1,000, so we don't need anything there right now. Now we have $587 to be played with our budget. So now we'll start looking at our other bills and what we can fulfill. We'll go ahead and now fund our car insurance this month. We will fund our private student loan. We actually have her mother and sister coming down this month, so we're going to put another $25 into fund money so we can do stuff with them. But now I just realized that we do need some funds for daycare, so we're going to put our $305 into daycare. And our last of 45, what we'll do is we'll roll this into our snowball, and we're going to add $45.91, and this goes towards paying off our lowest debt, which is one of our phone bills, and you'll see that will go towards that. Now let's talk about 3 financial tips to age your money and how you can take the dollars that you earn today and spend them 30 days from now. That way you can break that paycheck to paycheck cycle. The first tip is to embrace those true expenses. Those expenses do come along every single year, and you know about it. So make sure that you're embracing them so that you're not putting them on a credit card, which is putting you into debt. Spend only the amount that you've allocated into each category. Now, if you do overspend in that category, don't worry. You can now take from another category and add that into the next category. Roll with those punches. Because you went over in one just means that you have to sacrifice in the other category. Keep the budget going. Just make sure you're not overspending in the entire budget and overspending in the dollars that you don't have. Next is once you have fully funded your month, start now taking those funds, your current month, and start putting them into the next month. So you can start funding 10, 15, 20, 30 days up into the future. That way, when you get $1, you're going to be spending it 30 days from now, not tomorrow. Thanks again so much for watching my budget video here. We're going to be doing this in another 2 weeks. Once we get our next paycheck, we're going to follow up on how our budget's going. So make sure you're please liking and subscribing to my video. That way you can follow along with our journey again. Thanks again. You have a great one.